notes about it.
Westport.
Melissa, did we get this up to date?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's.
This right here.
How do you pronounce Arthur's last name? Anybody take that? Bonsteel?
Yeah, what?
B-O-N-S-T-I-L-L-E. Oka?
Where the good cheese comes from.
Roy Runny, I've got some.
The second one down.
Now, another list here. We're going to say Chad McSwain again.
Bonsteel?
Did you add Chad McSwain again?
He's an Oka from Muskoka.
How do you pronounce that, Melissa?
What is it?
B-O-N-S-T-I-L-L-E.
That's the way you should say it. I would say Boston. So you want me to call the beach again? So I always call that again. Somebody calls me break the
I think Jerry has it on his $90 getting excited.
Just getting ready. Jerry can't see the monitor. Can we push the monitor so he can see it?
Well, you're going to have to live without it one more break. If you put it over there, then it's in the way of
I didn't take the name off. I just picked problem box where it's called government insurance.
Contact Mark on find out else.
We've been talking about it down at PBS. We're back live in our Channel 57 studio. Good evening, I'm Mike Rose, Director of Development for your public television station. We're live in our studios on the State University campus, and we're celebrating country music and public television this evening. What we need to have as many of you do as possible is go to your telephone, give us a call at 518-563-9690. Let me start out and thank John Purdy from North Gower, Ontario, for calling in, Arthur Bonstee from Oka, Quebec, Nathan Wakefield, Burlington, Vermont, for supporting Channel 57. Dominic Cook from St. Regis, Quebec, and Bernie Stokes from Saranac Lake, New York. Thanks a lot. Of course, we're receiving plenty of support for our country music from friends in Vermont, New York State, Eastern Ontario, and Quebec. Because you'll see our goal is $145,000. We're about ready to reach $115,000, and we should with support of plenty of people who enjoy country music. We have Mardi Gras with us in the studio, and as we mentioned, after our evening of country music's over, you can catch their action down at PB Finnan's and Monopole after 11 o'clock this evening. And Doug said he's going to hit me up with some good banjo music right now. Go ahead, guys, and hit right into it, and we'll give you a few more facts and pictures about how you can
Something that you can enjoy for many, many years to come. So we'll take a look at that and some others in just a few minutes. Right now, we'd also like to remind you that you can use your Visa card or credit or MasterCard and spread your payments over
Hi, this is Calvin Castine. I'm speaking to you from the studios of Channel 57. We're here on the Ides of March, March 15th, to answer telephones. Here with Smiley Willette and Melody Owl. And some of in the background, you probably already heard them. I'm not sure when I was going to put that on, but the Mardi Gras band was here performing. And in a moment, we're going to ask Mike Bowden to give us a tour of the Channel 57 facility so you can see what goes on behind the scenes. Our cameraman right now is Sherm Blow. There's former Diane Gay saying hi to all of her friends and neighbors in Champlain. And of course, Smiley Willette and Melody Owl. Reliving memories here. Pat Blow and some refugee she picked up named Sherm, hiding behind his hat. And of course, Jungle Jim Robbins, star of Stage, Screen, and Agway. We're all here answering phones. We're doing the work, and these guys are doing the talking. Wife Judy is here also, and also with us. Of course, also with us is Woody the Chipmunk. Woody's a longtime country music fan, and there's Woody's friend, Michael. They're both they hang around in the trees together.
Some funny noise.
This is Woody the Chipmunk and Michael the Chipmunk.
We both enjoy nuts.
And of course, Michael's going to give us a tour very shortly. Uh-oh, the secret identity of Woody's been revealed. I had promised you that Mike Bowden would take us on a tour, but he's otherwise occupied. So Joanne Taylor.
Very short tour if I was to give you one. If I told you everything I knew, he'd be back in about 90 seconds.
Okay.
So Joanne Taylor is going to take us on tour. She's a producer-director here at WCFE. We're just going to follow her around. We're leaving the studio and going into the control room.
Okay, this is our audio operator that I have to tell to shape up because he's being videotaped, right?
Right. On your feet, fella.
You don't have to know what to do.
This is guess you better all crowd in here, huh?
Come on in.
Oh, yeah.
Come ahead.
Yeah.
Come on up here and I'll show you the board where we do where we switch it. See, here
Are you the boy that says, check out here? I want to hear your voice. Are you the one yelling out there? I want to hear your voice.
Yeah,
I didn't hear him yell.
I was yelling.
No, you
Gladly.
So this is we've got 2 feed lines into the control room. This one is coming in on remote at this point. Usually that's where our programs come in. If the program comes in here, if we have promos, you know, sometimes they'll say matching gift or a promo that we want you to see. That will come in on our net line. So if we happen to be on, say, camera 1, which is punched up now, but all the cameras are capped. If we're up there, then what we do is we say roll it, and we punch up net down here, and we dissolve to it, and that's what you'll get. Let me try it with remote, and then you'll get a better idea. Say we're on, that's camera 1, and Mike is sitting down talking on camera 1, and we go to the promo. It's just a matter of dissolving down to another bank. The reason you see that that's breaking up is because at this point, Master Control doesn't have this video gen-locked into this bank. We can't go on the air from the studio unless Master Control gives us control. Then we can do whatever we need to in here. What else can I show you? That's a background for the bumper that you see. And if we were on network, or say remote, and we're going to go out, we do all of that on the Quanta. We dissolve down to this source and punch that up, and then this is how you see that coming down. And he does the audio from there. See? Isn't that something?
So you put
Yeah.
the matching
Computerized,
font.
really.
You've got these here somewhere in a tape.
Yeah, they're on the disc in the
Yeah.
quantity, character.
Okay, I would get the keys and show you our little 3/4. We're really in tight quarters down here. I guess you know that you've heard that we're going to have to move. And I show you what we mean when we say we're in tight quarters. Come on, I'll show you the 3/4-inch editing room where we have to spend a whole day editing sometimes.
Okay.
I have to get the key though.
These each
Okay,
correspond to a microphone outside there. Okay. For example, the kiosk, that's the thing that spins around that they stand up against. Okay, I have 2 microphones on there. Yeah.
No, I was
sorry.
hitting him here.
Okay, we have a main one, and we also have a backup in case one of them goes out. That's where most of the talking goes on. Okay, to bring them in, okay, these can be up, but they're not in yet, because what we can do is we can punch them in and punch them out. Okay, that's what this does. When this light comes in, that means that the microphone is active. Okay, we can punch it out, and now it's not active. That prevents us from forgetting to slide up or getting wrong levels. We can set a level and then leave it alone. Okay, like I said, each one of these corresponds to a microphone. There's a microphone. If you look where your phones are, if you look straight up, you'll see a microphone hanging up there. That's just right here. And I think we might be able to... Okay, that's a studio out there right now. Okay, whenever we can hear you actually talking out there when you know, it does go over the air just a little bit. We like to just have that action going on, the noise, the phone's ringing like that. We have cart machines. Okay, it's sort of almost like an 8-track cart. Okay, it keeps itself up automatically. All we got to do is put that in, punch it up, and that's our music right there. That's how we get the music for the bumper. It automatically cues it up and waits to hit the button. We have the remote line. I think that's what we're on. That or remote? Yeah, we're on remote. Okay. That's that line that's so television right there.
Good.
So that's really what it comes down to. This is the audio that's connected to all the sources that you saw on the switcher. We have the audio half of it over here on this switcher.
So
Thank you.
when you ask for a mic check, you're checking to see if
Yeah, I'm
it's
actually
working.
checking the level. What we try to do is try to bring this so when it peaks out, it goes either up to 0 or it might go just a little bit over, not too much. You know, if it goes any further than that, it'll spin the needle over, and it'll start to distort.
Yeah.
So when I ask for a mic check, I'm just trying to set a level.
Thank you.
Hours in here editing. I just want to find a tape that I can go over. Besides, I know I can do this one because this is my dub tape. If I can find another tape that I can go over, I can show you how we do an edit. Promos. I'll find a field tape that's been cleared, and then maybe I can 2008. Okay. Now this is going to be this is definitely going to be a very simplified explanation of how we edit. The two machines are linked, and you have to do in points and out points. This is how you control the audio. Now sometimes you'll just do a video edit. You'll lay the audio down, the audio track down. Say you got somebody in an interview. You got a close-up shot of a fellow talking. You have an interview. You put that down on the other piece of tape. You use his audio and everything with it. But then you don't want to just stay on that guy's face talking about something. It gets too boring. He's talking about something that people want to see. So you have another tape where you know you've got footage that you shot in the field of, say he's talking about a school building or whatever. Then the next time you go through, you would just put the video in only and decide where you want to start the video, where you want to end the video. So it's really like building piece by piece what you want to do. That's just a very simplified version of it. Okay, so now we want to do the, say we want, let's say we want, I want to start this shot right here. I reset this, I put an in point for it, I make sure that I want video, and then I pick an in point on the recorder as well. I've just got black there, so I'll just stop it, put an in point on that, and we just want video. So the machine is now telling me, because this is flashing, that I didn't select an out point. I didn't let the machine know where I wanted the video to stop. I told it where I wanted to pick it up, but I didn't tell it where I wanted to stop. So I go back to the player and I shuttle it forward and say I want to stop at the end of that zoom. That'll be my out point. We know we got video. The machine lets you do a preview edit. So in other words, you can see how it looks. If you don't like it, you can change something. This is when you do the final edit, when you push the red button. It's like the red phone you pick up there. So now what you'll see is the machine actually doing that. Now mind you, I don't have any audio on this. I'm only doing a video only. If I wanted audio, I could select channel 1 or channel 2. So in other words, I could have video, I could have the man's voice on channel 1, and on channel 2 later I could go back and mix music on it on channel 2. So you have, that's how, see now it's doing the edit right there. It's putting this video from this tape onto this tape. And it's going to stop itself, because I made an out point. See? And it stopped itself. That's a very simplified, explanation of editing. And usually what you find is that, as a rule, for every minute that you see on the air, an editor has spent an hour in here for every minute. Usually, I suppose, if you're doing news and you had to get it on the air real quickly and you didn't have time to take a lot of time, you wouldn't be able to spend an hour doing it if you were in a rush. But even news people will have to get their things out in a rush. It's sort of a general rule.
Is it the same like say the guy that does the news would do his own editing? No. It depends upon
the station, the size of the station. At some stations, the reporter will go out with a videographer, someone with a camera. Often the reporter will come back, write the story, and the guy or lady who shot the story will edit it with the reporter. Sometimes in very small stations, the reporter comes back and writes the story, goes into the audio booth, does the voiceover for it, comes in and edits it, actually puts what they call a news package together themselves. Depends upon the size of the station. Sometimes a reporter goes out, shoots it, and writes it, and edits it, and gets it on the air.
Right from beginning to end,
I'll take you to master control. You can see, I'll have Carter explain to you what master control is all about. Carter, are you ready? These are the guys that keep our station on the air.
They're it, right?
They're it.
He's off the air, you have to start switching it.
Yeah.
You got to climb over that one, put the bolts in and stuff too?
No. Basically, this is our MRC, which is our remote control unit for everything up on our transmitter site up in Blind Mountain. Chances are 9 times out of 10 if something goes wrong, we'll get an alarm for it here. 8 times out of 10 we can correct it right here. A lot of times we might have to go up to the transmitter itself. These are 2 monitors, 2 satellite monitors that we receive signals from that we either can record video from or air straight from. This is New York Network, which is a microwave feed from Albany, which we're airing right now. Our 3/4 inch decks over here that we air that cassette tapes off from. We have 1 inch tape decks in the next room over. We have video from the studio. We got 5-6 different sources of video. Pull up.
Okay, when you have the old movies, are they on reels like they used to be, or are they on decks?
They're on, it all depends as whether it's a prime time hour or not. If they're like a late night movie, no, we'll air them from film. If it's something during prime time, we have an engineer during the day dubs them to tape. So that way if we have a film breakage, you can correct it, edit the by and get everything so the whole thing runs smooth. Later night, takes a back seat and we'll run it right off the reel. Basically, it's just, where it looks, where we dub it over that way. We ensure the only thing that can go wrong is something wrong with the machine itself. We ain't gonna worry about tape things. This is all our technical support equipment here.
Is there somebody got to be here all the time
When we're on the air, right, 18 hours.
We should mention too that when we're counting down in the studio, coming out of the fundraising break, if we're receiving something from network and there are planned breaks in it and there's a countdown of time, they'll start feeding that again after that time runs out. So that's why when something is generated not locally, when it's coming to us from New York Network, that's why we have to hit the beginning of the program immediately. So otherwise we'll cut it off. They'll run it and
They'll go ahead and run it.
And we would be cutting it off. If we're airing something that's generated locally, like say somebody fed a program to us.
Our next break.
Is like that.
Our next
something
program, we're airing Country Express, which is off of 1 inch tape. Mike decides to stretch the break, he can, because our last 2 programs is the Country Express and then our late night movies. So he can stretch them if he wanted to. We just sign off wherever he stretched. He'd be signing off that much later. That's all. We're going back into another program, and he stretched the break like a minute. We might jump a promo cluster or something to come back out on time.
When you're on network, you want to stay right.
Yep. Sometimes we've had times where they've stretched breaks where we're in-house before, but going back out of house, and we've had to dump like promo clusters. Like I said, we'll have like a minute 30 promo cluster. It's got 3 30-second promos on it, and we'll dump one of the promos out or something that, to compensate for time and get us back on schedule.
Done that to me any number of times.
How many movies would you say you have on hand that you own?
We don't own any. We own the rights to a lot of them, but we book them in. And they come in probably 3-4 days before we air them, and as soon as we're done with them, we ship it on out to another station.
So you don't keep any here?
No, hardly ever. Just long enough to get them in the house, to time them, clean them up, sometimes dub them onto tape, and then
So
we air them, and then off they go.
You pay per play? Is that how it works?
That's right. And pay an extra booking fee to get them in as well. We have 5 movies a week on a normal basis.
So you don't have any on hand that if something happens with one movie that you can't put it on, you haven't got a backup? Is that what you're saying?
A couple of backups, but normally we have it in-house.
What?
We start to panic if it's not in-house within 3 days before it airs or something like that, and then we can have it air freighted to us overnight.
Now we're in the fundraising thing here.
Lower floor, all equipment.
What's the average cost of a movie?
Yeah, we should be moving shortly.
What does it cost you to
It can cost anywhere from $200 up to $500 for each movie title, and for that you can have anywhere from 2 to 5 runs over a 5-year period of time.
So it can come in more than once.
That's right. A good example of that is Casablanca, the movie that we usually kick off our movie marathon with. It costs us like $300 a title, and we get to run that for 4 years.
You know, nice outdoor today, or
So that 300 pays for 4 years?
Yes. Some other movies are as expensive as $500 a title, and sometimes only 2 plays out of that. So they can be expensive. But if it's the right movie and we use it during fundraising, it can bring in many, many times its costs. We save those special movies for the movie marathon.
On job training,
3 minutes.
All right, this is
I had a background in electronics, which helped out a lot.
That's really
the
great.
hobby doubled me up on a shift with somebody else. And I sit here and watched them for a week or 2, and then I got hands-on experience.
Since we gave you a tour of Channel 57, we thought it was only fair that we give you a tour of our meager facilities. The bottom tape deck you see here, this is our deck that we put the show on with. I should record the show with. And we do any editing, we run it from this top tape deck into this bottom one. We occasionally use the enhancer on the bottom and a color processor on the top. We'll show you a few tricks we can do with the color processor in a moment. Over here to the left is where we keep Gordy Little. He's kept in this little box on the side. And we just call him up whenever we need him. And of course our monitor is over here to the right. The camera that we use has several functions, including the fade in and fade out. We'll fade out for a second. We also have a function called the white balance. You can see from this blue floor, we hit that button, we get a much truer color. This is sometimes needed in the gymnasiums. You might see sometimes I'll start a game and there'll be kind of a yellowish tint. Then I'll remember the white balance and you'll get a more realistic color concerning the actual colors in that gymnasium. The camera itself has many functions. We can type up many things to store in memory to display on the screen, such as you're seeing there. We can type up to 8 of them and have them ready to call up at any time that we want them. And in addition, I'll adjust my camera here, we can put them in red, green, blue, or white, depending on what our background is and what would look best against a particular background. In this particular case, I'd say the blue might stand out the most. We also have the date we can put on, type that on. You can't do any of these things when the camera's running. We also have a stopwatch. Those who watch the softball remember I taped Lonnie Bayshore running to first base last year, and the stopwatch will start and stop with the push of a button. Fade in and fade out. We also have the capabilities to fade in and fade out to a white color.